Okay. Second from the left.
First grill?
For sure. That's you. Okay, well, have a wonderful walk, sweetheart. Say hi to Andy. Oh, he sent me the form for the chairs.
What?
He sent me the form that has to be.
Well, hello, everyone. If you are not muted, I would probably suggest that you mute your microphones because in this way, hopefully, we won't be hearing things we shouldn't hear. I would just like to welcome all of you, members of the English Speaking Union family. Well, today has been a long time in arriving, 100 years to be exact. And I am as proud as punch to have the honor to officially open the deliberations, the events, and the celebrations that mark a century of service provided around the world by the English-speaking Union. America's reluctance to engage in conflict, especially in Europe, considering its long history of distancing itself from the colonial and monarchical environment that led to the foundation of America. America's reluctance to engage in conflict, however, is only matched by the sheer commitment that America makes when it chooses to engage in supporting its friends and allies. And so it was no surprise in 1920 when a group of former diplomats and military leaders who had spent many years in England incorporated the English-speaking Union of the United States 2 years after their London branch was established. These intrepid people saw the ESU as an opportunity to engage their fellow citizens in a new form of diplomacy, the diplomacy of the citizen, not the state. And they wanted to reach across the US and to bring together like-minded individuals who understood the ties that bind nations and that a common language and a common set of values centered on the rule of law was central to fellowship and the sharing of lived experience in happiness and peace. And they wanted that knowledge and that commitment to be celebrated throughout the world. They initiated a kind of spin on a movement that would soon gain traction through the 20th century, bilateralism. Their spin was focused bilateralism, of which the English-speaking Union is, I think, a classic example. Planet Earth and us who inhabit it has radically changed since 1920. But these two things have not. The fellowship of a common language and the rule of law, and they are still very much at the heart of our experience within the English-speaking Union. Forces both within and without our nations and nations across the world are infused with a driving need for deconstruction, for chaos, for disruption. We hear these words again and again, and it falls to organizations like ours to provide some counterbalance, not to eschew change, but to adapt it while holding fast to our basic principles and not sacrificing them on the altar of expediency. As an organization, the ESU of the US has adapted, and it will continue to do so in our next century. And I salute all of our members across the US this afternoon. I welcome you to our regional meetings as we inaugurate this great week of celebration. We have a rich and varied slate of events and activities which you can enjoy without the trouble of traveling by air, train, or car, a small consolation in light of what the world is currently experiencing. But, just as our forebears began this journey in the throes of a pandemic, so we too do likewise a century later. But our scientific and technological progress has given us tools to deal with it and to adjust. So please, everyone, keep safe, keep healthy, enjoy your talks, your deliberations, your discussions, and I look forward to seeing all of you at other events during this week. God bless you all. And God bless the English Speaking Union of the United States. Take care.
Hello, everyone. I'm Karen Karpwich, the Executive Director of the English Speaking Union. I want to thank you all for joining us today and also joining us this week. It's been a long time getting here, 100 years, but it's also been a long year for us in terms of planning this event. And I want to thank the branches and the leadership for their support through this process, which has been a challenge, as we all know, but I think we have an amazing week scheduled. And I hope that you all celebrate, enjoy, learn, and communicate with each other as best we can, given the challenges that we have before us. So what I'd like to do now is just do a little bit of review of the week and touch base on a few things before we start our regional meeting. As you all know, you've received a complete schedule with your links telling you of the events for the week. Each day you will be prompted in the morning as to what's happening on an individual day. There are a few events that are separate. They include the Art Deco discussion tomorrow, which is being run by the Art Deco Society. You'll get a separate link for that. You'll also get a separate link for the gala, which is on Wednesday night at 6 o'clock. And that's a special link specifically for the gala. And the third one is the actual EIA event, which we're running on Thursday. So for those events, you'll get special links, but for everything else, you'll receive a reminder in the morning of what's occurring and when to click into the event. Just to review the week's activities, as Paul mentioned, directly following this will be regional meetings, and you will be allocated to your specific regions to meet with the leaders there and to talk about a myriad of issues and share and engage in a dialogue about what's going on in your particular area. If you're not a member or you're part of the international community, we will expect you back here at 3 o'clock, and all of the times that I'm going to mention are Eastern Daylight Time. So I know we have people all over the world and all over the United States. So your own adaptation to your time schedule is really kind of in your hands. And I thank you all, because it's not easy with time changes and everything else. But at 3 o'clock, Martin Tipping will be joining us from Ogis and Company. And those of you remember, Martin was involved in our branding exercise last year. And one of the programs that they introduced was the program of 100 Years, 100 Stories. And it has always been part of the Centennial celebration and the Centennial campaign. But in a pandemic, it took on a whole kind of resonance and new meaning for us, because we won't be able to do the kinds of events, social events, that we were hoping to do if we were able to go about our business and lead, events locally within our branches. But we've decided to focus in on the story, and the story of you, your leadership, and your branches. And through next spring and winter, through the winter and the spring, what we hope to do is create opportunities around those stories, and then finalize the Centennial year with a celebratory video and anniversary book, where we hope to incorporate a lot of those stories, so that for the future generations, they know who we were at this particular time in this particular place. So I think you'll all enjoy Martin's talk on storytelling and engagement. I think it's very inspirational, and in this time, very healing. So I look forward to seeing you back here at 3 o'clock. And then tomorrow, if you're part of our international community, they have a 7 a.m. call Eastern Daylight Time for the international delegation. So that's kind of, we in New York and in the US, it's kind of early birds for us in terms of those participating, but we're looking forward to it. It'll be an exciting event. And interestingly enough, Zoom has really kind of allowed us to really engage the international community also. And the registration has been very, very, large for that too, which is exciting. So after that, at 11:30, and this is the one day that we're starting at 11:30, because at 11:30 Eastern Daylight Time, we're going to have an address from Jane Easton, the Director General of the English-Speaking Union of the Commonwealth, along with Professor James Raven, who's the chairman of the board. And they'll be talking about the English-Speaking Union of the Commonwealth, and that will be an update on what's going on internationally. So we're looking forward to that. At 12 o'clock will be the first series of branch breakout sessions, which have been completely curated. And I want to thank Julia Vanderwater for kind of leading the charge on this. But these are events and programs that are really driven by the branches on topics that are meaningful to the branches and branch growth. So we're looking forward to that, and we hope that as many of you as possible partake in those discussions. At 4 o'clock, when we first started this process of engaging this Centennial event, and we were having you all in New York, one of our themes was going to be the Jazz Age in New York, and New York in the 1920s. So we're trying to maintain that theme as best we can. And what we have is a program that we're doing with the Art Deco Society of New York City, who's going to do an Art Deco tour of 42nd Street, which contains some of the most classic and incredible Art Deco buildings and environments that have been created over the past 100 years. So it'll be interesting to be in places and see the environment that Evelyn Wrench saw in 1920 when he founded the English-Speaking Union in the United States. That leads us to Wednesday with, if you're on our board of directors, we have our board meeting at noon. And then we'll see all of you back here at 6 o'clock for our gala. And as I mentioned before, you'll have an individual invitation for that in your inbox. So that's this particular link that you have to have. And again, as Paul mentioned, the highlight of the gala will be the Princess Royal address, which she's done for us, specifically addressing the English-Speaking Union of the United States in our 100 years, and the Princess Royal Award, which has been inaugurated in this year in our 100th anniversary. So we're very proud of that. Additionally, continuing in our theme of the Jazz Age and 1920s New York City, we're going to have our president, Dr. Quinn Pieper, do a rendition of Rhapsody in Blue with an orchestrated, and it's an amazing experience. I think you're all going to enjoy that. It's going to be one of the highlights. Additionally, we are going to be giving our Founders Award this year to Lawrence Morse for the Luard program. And also as a special event too, we're going to have Karen Pierce, the ambassador to the United States from the United Kingdom. So I think that that's going to be exciting, and we hope you all don't miss it and come to it on Wednesday night. On Thursday morning, we're going to do a noon program on engagement. And I mean, as we live our lives, whether it's with our families or with our work or with our branches or with our members, we're always challenged with how to engage and how to engage people in really kind of getting them to the point that we could collaborate and grow the ESU. So the program is going to be on how to best engage your members and your board. And I think you'll find Laura Fredericks very interesting on her approach and about how to earn engagement and how to work towards engagement. I've seen her speak before, and she's very inspirational. I've learned a lot from her over the years. At 2 o'clock, we'll be doing our EIA presentation. I know a lot of you are very interested in English in Action. It's one of our oldest programs. It's been around for 60 years. And what we're going to have is a panel of 2 volunteer tutors and 2 of our students talking about EIA, talking about the power of the program and the inspiration that it is not only to our students, but also to our volunteers. So that should be a very interesting program and very informational for the branches that are considering establishing EIA programs. After that, for our patron members, we are going to have a tour of the Morgan Library. And at this particular point, the Morgan is going to be doing an actual program on Anne Bronte. And I know we recently did a happy hour on the Bronte sisters, but this is going to be curated by a woman named Christine Nelson, who's the curator of the Morgan Library. And she's going to be showing specific information on Anne Bronte and talking about Anne Bronte, who I know many of our members are very interested in the Bronte sisters. They're always a big hit. So that will be Thursday. And then Friday morning, we have our annual general meeting for our members. And that's kind of our state of the state in terms of what's been going on over the past year. It's been a busy year for us, and a lot has happened and a lot has changed, and we're moving forward with all of the challenges ahead of us, but the organization is primed and ready to move into the next 100 years. So it'll be good to kind of see what we've accomplished this year and how we plan to move the organization forward. After that, one of our final discussions or programs on the Jazz Age, and we'll be joined by Brad Rubenstein, who's with the Noel Coward Society, and he'll be talking about star quality, the world of Noel Coward, which should be a lot of fun and very interesting. Then at 4:30, we'll be doing our final breakout sessions, again, curated by our branches, specifically on topics to support and help our branches. And then at 6 o'clock is our final remarks. So as you can see, it's a very robust week and a very exciting week for us. And as Paul mentioned, there's something to be said about being able to do it from the comfort of your own home and relax and enjoy yourselves. We hopefully in a year from now or very soon in the future, we'll be able to come together and do this in person. But for the time being, I think we're doing the best we can. And I think we've seen with these Zoom meetings, a kind of resurgence of people kind of connecting and engaging. So there's always very positive things with whatever comes our way. The final thing that I wanted to mention was the fact that we are going to be doing a raffle. And many of you have been seeing the actual graphic that we've been using for the gala, which was created by an artist named Tug Rice, who we met through Quinn. And what we've done is we've taken the graphic, and I'm wearing the scarf right now, and created this Centennial limited edition scarf, which actually has the graphic on it. And it shows our library for many of you who know our building. It shows our famous picture of Evelyn Wrench kind of looking down on us, the Princess Royal, and the participants and the honorees that will be honoring on Wednesday evening at the gala. And this is a limited edition scarf along with a smaller pocket square for the gentleman. So we have a small one too. And these are not for sale. These are not items that are for sale. These are limited edition Centennial items. So the way that you can get one of these is if you happen to be one of our very generous benefactors and have given us $1,000 or more is one option. We're also going to be raffling them off. And the raffles are going to be $25 plus 6 for $100. And then the third option will appeal to anyone who has the artist in them. And what Tug Rice has done for us is they've created a coloring page for us, which is a line drawing. And you'll be able to download the line drawing, and then you'll be able to color it in with your own version, color version of the actual graphic. And we'll be collecting those. And then at the end of October, when we'll be finalizing the raffle and doing everything else, Quinn Pieper is going to select a few winners from the coloring page. So that will be your opportunity to win our limited edition scarf, which is quite lovely. And I hope you all try to buy a raffle ticket or try to engage in coloring contest or whatever it is that's feasible for you to do at this particular point. So I do thank you. When we come back at 3 o'clock, what I'm also going to be showing you is our branded merchandise that we've created specifically with our new logo that will be available for sale over the next couple of months. We have some initial items. We could add to that. We could eliminate things that people don't appeal to people, but we are going to be showing you that at 3 o'clock. So those items will start to be available. In any event, I thank you again, and please partake of whatever it is that's going to work for you, inspire you, engage you. We thank you for your support. It's been a challenging year, but we thank you for being there for us. And I want to thank my staff and the board of directors and everybody else who supported this rather challenging event this week. But I think it's going to be a sensational week and a very inspirational week, which is something we all need these days. So I thank you, and now I lead you into your regional meetings. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So you should now be getting an invitation to join your regional meeting breakout rooms. If you're in the wrong room or you're not in a room, let me know. Some people joined with names that I couldn't recognize. So if you let me know, I can go ahead and put you in the correct room. International participants, we'll see you at 3. There isn't a breakout room for those who are participating from overseas.
It's okay, I'll get you snapped. Hold on. Okay, all right. And then you go outside. Catherine, he's asked a question. How do I answer this? It's a Zoom.
Oh, you can just answer with your mic if you'd like.
Down here, type message.
Oh, okay.
Oh, well, you can also just speak. I can hear you.
Get to it.
I can't hear him. The dog's making too much noise.
Oh. Okay.
Hi, what branch are you a member of? H11316?
Indianapolis, Region 6.
Oh, perfect. Let me go ahead and move you in.